This is your captain speaking. We are making our descent into Las Vegas McCarran Airport. On behalf of our crew, we'd like to thank you for flying MMA Junkie Airlines. Now please fasten your seatbelts and put your tray tables in your upright position because the descent is gonna be a little bit bumpy.
Alright, Junkie Nation, it's time to roll, baby, on MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes. This is what we do and why we do it, baby. All night long, we rollin'! Yeah!
The MMA Junkie Radio revolution is upon us.
Can you dig it?
There's no escape. No escape. Through the vast frontier of cyberspace and through a sea of stars in outer space.
One small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
We've solidified our combat communications stranglehold.
We are controlling transmission.
With the use of MMA Junkie Radio and SiriusXM satellite radio technology. MMA Junkie Radio. Commence transmission. Live from MMA Junkie Radio HQ in the fight capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Here are your hosts, Gorgeous George and Go.
From the fight capital of the world, inside the beautiful Mandalay Bay Racing Sportsbook, you are listening to the MMA Junkie Radio Show. I'm your host, Gorgeous George. With me, as always, is the devious and dastardly Goes. Our ace co-host back east, handling all the producing duties, is going to be Danny. Sitting to my right, superstar UFC middleweight Brad Tavares. What's up, guys?
What up?
What's up, bro?
It's exciting when you have Brad Tavares in studio, right? Because you never know what you're going to get.
Dude, that Burt Watson thing,
cool,
that was
man.
dope.
You like it?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, we like to keep him around.
Yeah.
We're sitting.
I miss Burt.
I miss Burt too, and
I miss
Stitch.
Burt.
There's something to like this that old school crew that you could kind of count on before the fights, after the fights. I feel like they had a hand in building the UFC.
Yeah.
You know?
For sure.
So obviously, a lot of credit goes. You ever hear when Joe Rogan jumps up and does the weigh-ins, he says Ariane and Vanessa and Chrissy and Brittany, Joe Silva, who's now gone as well, and Sean Shelby, Bruce Buffer. I mean, those are names you've heard for a long time. A couple names that you wouldn't hear much. Although no, he used to say Babysitter of the Stars, the Burt, so he got his due. But a lot of the old school like Leon Tabb, Stitch Duran, a lot of those guys had a hand.
Goldberg now.
They had a hand in building what the UFC is. They're definitely missed. But I'm glad to see him. I saw Stitch at Invicta. I've seen him at Bellator. I see him in Klitschko's corner. So I know he's doing well. Bert's got stuff going on as well.
Stitch stops in at Extreme every now and then when he's in town. Just come by, say what's up. He'll pop in. So it's nice to see him there. I have not seen Burt since he's departed the UFC.
Yeah.
I think the last time I saw him was 2015, I think, when I fought.
Yeah, he's been all gone for 2016.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was one thing I was really bummed about.
He had energy, right? Positive energy.
Really good energy. It was it was something that as far as the ritual of fight week, fight day, that whole thing.
Yeah.
Like he was like he really like orchestrated it. He really made it run smoothly. I don't know, like you just that feeling of we rolling, that whole thing. Like that helped. Like in the beginning you don't really realize it, and then as soon as it's taken away from you, you're like, damn, I missed that,
Mm-hmm.
But I really look forward to seeing Burt on fight weeks. That guy had really good energy.
Those are the type of guys, when I'd see him, I'd embrace him. It wasn't just a head nod or nothing like that. It was like, how you doing? You bring it in close, ask them how they're doing. They're genuinely interested in you.
Yeah.
It's cool, man. And MMA, I say this a lot, and I don't mean it. Well, maybe I do. I don't know. I think MMA is kind of scummy at times. All right?
Yeah.
And, you just find out years later about certain people. But if you'll notice, usually the good people just keep persevering. And the bad people kind of fall off for whatever reason. Or maybe they turn their ways around. But so I'm kind of at a distance with certain people. But, like, you could just tell from day one, Burt, Stitch, certain guys, I mean, awesome people. Like, type of people I wanted to, even if I ever left MMA, I'd still like to occasionally wish them a happy birthday or just check in on them.
Yeah, for sure.
I think this whole week I've been feeling a little nostalgic because of, talking to Jeff Sherwood the other day. You guys bringing up Burt Watson right now and some of the other names, Mike Goldberg that's gone now. And then you see last night a name like BJ Penn that, I mean, before we even did the show or anything, this is a name that we got to see like some of his first fights. You got to see a Rumble on the Rock in person.
I know.
This dude has done a lot. And I think it was Eves Edwards yesterday had said, or Dean Thomas, shit, I always mix them up. But one of them said something along the lines of, it's sad to see these new up-and-comers come and dethrone these legends.
That was hard to watch.
And I told him, I go, look, man, that's kind of a part of every sport. It happens in every sport. Very rarely do you have that one guy that can just walk into the sunset. But the one thing that I would hope from these younger cats is when you do that, just set the time aside to pull the guy aside and just say, look, man, thank you for paving the road that I'm walking on.
Right, yeah.
That's what I think is important because you guys don't know the shit that people like BJ Penn, the training, the shitty conditions, the shitty pay, all the stuff that they had to go through so that all these new guys have a home, to a sport, for us to have a job. The times back then, if you read some of these books, George, we got to experience a lot of it. It is not anywhere near what's going on today.
Yeah, some of the kids that are coming up nowadays, man, it's like, for example, when in high school, we actually had book buying day, right? We actually had book buying day, and the other day I happened to go by my old high school, and everything's just off the iPad. Like there ain't no book buying day. I mean, they got it really, really nice, is what I'm saying. And that's cool because Dad told us the same thing. You guys get this? We had it this way, Nice to roll my eyes, but sure enough, times change. That's cool. There's a Tavares out there playing hockey.
Really?
How about that? Yeah.
Really?
Hey,
Are there Hawaiians or Latinos that play hockey?
I doubt it.
Huh.
Portuguese.
Could have sworn I saw Tavares out there right now. Anyway, that was sad to see yesterday. First of all, when Penn didn't come out with the Irish knuckle, bare knuckle guy, with that stance, I was like, all right, we've cleared a hurdle. And then he started throwing some hands, But Yair just got off quickly. He got off quickly, and I think once BJ felt the impact of a couple of those kicks, even though he was blocking them, I think you could just see it like the mind started thinking, And in the past, that wasn't BJ.
Yeah.
BJ was a forward guy where all of a sudden he was the assassin. He was actually hunting you. And in this case, he started getting hunted. And I go, oh, man. But then every once in a while, he still threw a hard hard right. He was counter hooking, but he just couldn't get going, you know. And credit to Yair, the way he went at him. I think that's the way you do it. And I give props to BJ for closing the distance. And I thought he was going to – remember when he had John Fitch in Australia up against the cage? And Fitch just had this look of like, I'm supposed to do this to you. And I thought BJ Penn was just going to pull his legs out, double him, And actually he did get him down and go to work. But he was just slower. The other guy was faster. It's tough to watch.
Yeah, it was. It definitely was. Like for you guys, like how you say, like it's somebody that you watch help pave the way. For me, it's a little deeper than that. For one, I'm an MMA fighter myself, so he really did pave the way. I'm a fellow Hawaii MMA fighter, and BJ and I are from the same place. We're both from Hilo. So, for me, like, I hate, it's like you guys said, it's tough to watch. Like this guy who I watched was one of my idols growing up, like I've always said it in the past years that I believed that if BJ, whatever it was, if his motivation was there when he came back and when he had the belt before he fought like Edgar and stuff, if he stayed with Marinovich's or whatever it was, if he stayed with a camp that really, pushed him, or if he himself, pushed, wanted to push it, or if the motivation was still there, which I'm sure it's hard, he accomplished so much already. It's like at that point, he's like, it's whatever, and fighting came easy to him, but I think that he would have beat Anderson Silva's record. I think that he was the most pound for pound, the most dominant fighter, like the skills he possessed, and he still has those skills, but time waits for nobody.
He did have a running jumping knee, reminded me of the Shirk fight. but it just kind of fizzled midair. I think Rodriguez basically handled it, but there was some glimpses there, man. I was waiting for it to just, if he could somehow hurt Yair, then all of a sudden you'd see that fire in his eyes. We just didn't get to that point. Now, did you guys have a problem with the stoppage?
No.
Nah, he was landing some good shots. BJ is tough though, so you wanna see him let it go, but he wasn't answering any of those shots. He was in a defensive mode, so
right.
It is what it is. It sucks, but like BJ, I love that guy for what he's done for the sport, for what he's done for Hawaii fighters. Could never thank him enough. I'm not sure if I ever personally did thank him. I think one of these days when we get together back home or something, I'll have to tell him thank you, like for real, like on a serious note, because he kind of what he did for the sport and for the fighters in Hawaii.
Yeah,
you can't thank him enough.
But do you remember when he fought here at Mandalay Bay, right, against Frankie Edgar? At the end of that fight, I had this pit in my stomach. And it was mostly because that wasn't the BJ that we all remembered. Even not looking at the way it ended, just looking at everything leading up and the way he was fighting. That's just not the BJ that we remembered. And that was hard for me to take. This fight, at least I can say, hey, man, it looked like he took it serious. He took the camp serious. Yeah. He looked good. He came in. He did try and fight BJ style. It just didn't work. I mean, the sport caught up a little bit, but that's an amazing fighter that he had on the other side of him. And I'm kind of okay with him going that way. At least we know he gave everything.
Yeah.
In the last one, I think there were a little bit of doubt, and I didn't want that to be the last memory of what we remember of BJ Penn.
Right. And he's done this time, right? I didn't stick around for post-fight because I think Lakers were on, fucking KC and Pittsburgh was on. Then I had to drive home, so I didn't stick around for post-fight. But he's done this time, right?
I'm not sure.
Never say never.
No announcements?
Never say never.
As soon as they stopped the fight.
But that
was it for me.
Checked out?
Yeah, I clicked it.
Dana White said even before this fight, they didn't want him to take this fight. So I would imagine after what happened here, I don't see them giving him another shot.
Man, I was daydreaming all day going, what if he wins? What does that do to 45? Because BJ's star power, especially if he catches Yair, gets a finish, that like really shakes up 45, that division, the Bektik is trying to climb up, and Edgar's trying to regroup, and Holloway wants, Aldo, and Aldo's trying to chase McGregor. But I was kind of catching myself daydreaming all day of the possibilities. But it all got shot down pretty quick.
What happened? I thought I rarely follow too much stuff anymore, but what wasn't Max supposed to fight Aldo in Brooklyn? What happened to that?
Okay, so what happened was when Max won, he goes, let's do it in Brooklyn, because I guess there was talks underway of the main event, being in Brooklyn. By then, Aldo was crowned champion because McGregor was, what'd they say, relinquished or
stripped or whatever.
Yeah. So the plan was for now that we'd have an interim champ against the champ. And so Max was working off adrenaline. So he's like, yeah, I'm down, let's do it. By the time he got to the back, and they did the post-fight press conference, he started saying, man, he goes, I don't know, this foot's swelling up, and I don't know if I'm going to be ready to go. Plus, Aldo pulls out of a lot of fights, and I want some family time, because I'd sacrifice, and I want to spend the holidays with my kids. It's really not that unreasonable.
No.
Because Brooklyn's 2 months away. So he was like, I promised my kid I'd take him to Disneyland, the holidays, my ankle's swelling up, or whatever. And so then people were saying, well, you just said this, and now you're saying that. And anyway, so a few days happened. He decompressed. And then, I was serious. Like, hey, man, I got an injury. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Now, Max took a little bit of a pushback from fans going, well, look who's pulling out now. Or look,
right.
You're talking about this guy. But it was quick. It wasn't like they really, really buried him. I think once he made a public statement, said what he said, that was it. We all understood it. And so now that fight is just in the middle of all that. Aldo is being, I don't know about used like a pawn, but with Khabib and Ferguson, they were having problems. Ferguson, a guest of ours, by the way, today, 1:40 p.m. Eastern, 10:40 a.m. Pacific. As all that's happening, they started presenting Aldo with shots, opportunities at 55. So that kind of like took a little bit of the pressure off Max. He's kind of hanging back. Now that the dust is settled, Khabib will fight Ferguson. I don't know what Connor's going to do. He says he's going to be at Pops. He needs time off. Now there's Mayweather talk. But it looks like it'll be Aldo and Holloway probably later in the spring. Now,
Okay.
yesterday there was an announcement of UFC 210.
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, and in Buffalo.
Yeah.
I could see that being Aldo Holloway. That seems like about the right time to me.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting
could
on
work out.
that.
Merge
You
the
wanna
two
know it?
belts, you know?
That would be fun.
Yeah. You tight with Max, you know him? Or?
Yeah. When I go back to Hawaii and whatnot, I do work out with them when I can. And, yeah, super happy for the guy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I had no clue what was happening. I can completely understand that. You know, you just won. He's so young still too, and you just
Exactly.
won a championship belt, interim, whatever. It doesn't matter. You just won a championship belt. You say yes to anything right in that moment.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure I remember when I was watching that fight. You know how you can kind of overhear like the talking in the background, whatever. Like I swear I heard Dana tell him, "Oh, like February, blah blah."
Push this?
Yeah, no. I thought like he put it out there. I didn't
Call
think,
him out or something for this?
No, like would you be down for that or whatever?
Yeah.
And I mean, you just won the belt. You're on a freaking high.
Yeah.
Your adrenaline is still pumping. I mean, that's how it is. Like I've fought fights like that where you think, oh, I'm injury free. The guy didn't even touch me, but I've kicked the crap out of guys' knees and elbows, and the next day or even a couple hours after that, my leg is huge. And then you go on a flight, and you after 6 hours or whatever it is, flying back to wherever you're going, my leg, like my ankle is about as big as my thigh. So,
Damn.
yeah. So I can definitely see that. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know. Fans be cutthroat sometimes. So
For sure. 866-522-2846 is the number to call in. Let's take this call real fast. Then we got to get one of our breaks in. And again, Tony Ferguson will join us at 1:40 p.m. Eastern, 10:40 a.m. Pacific. We got Brad Tavares in-house. Brad recently had a fight, what do we call it, I guess? Yeah, maybe
Scrapped.
postponed or scrapped? Like, is the Lombard matchup going to be something down the road, or are we starting from fresh?
So I'm not sure what the exact deal is. I would love to get that matchup. When they offered it to me, I was
a
really
good one.
excited about it.
Me too.
Didn't hesitate, jumped all over it. It's a great matchup, you know, against a guy like Hector Lombard, you know, another guy who's been doing it for years and big name, you know, great opportunity for me. So I really hope I can get that fight back, but I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything either way about it. So, I mean, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, just focus on the
And the
next
reason
guy.
they didn't get you an opponent, we had heard that maybe you were dinged up. Can you clarify that?
Yeah, so what happened was it was a crazy 3-day span. So I got the call, I believe this was like a Sunday, that, the fight, UFC 208, which was initially slated to be January 21st in Anaheim, got completely scratched. So where do we go from there? They said, okay, we're just going to bump you a week back, January 28th, fighting in Denver, Colorado, UFC on Fox 23, I believe. I was like, perfect, you know. I as long as this, you know, it's still another big card, fighting stateside, and fighting Lombard will probably be main card, you know.
Yeah.
He's a big draw. So stoked. So that happened. The next day, following day after that, I get the call. Something happened to Lombard. He withdrew. So where do we go from there? It's like, we'll see if we're gonna get you another opponent, whatever. And obviously, I'm bummed that I'm not gonna fight Lombard now. But it is what it is. And then the following day, I got a little injury. And so talked to my manager, and he was like, you know what, like, just let it heal. And like I said, hopefully I can get that fight back. So
Yeah.
I didn't want to, you know, like, I have this injury, and I didn't want to come into a fight, go through a fight camp and come into a fight a little dinged up when I didn't have to, you know. My opponent just pulled out on me. I didn't even have any new opponent scheduled, so
Okay.
it was a no-brainer.
Nothing serious, though.
No.
Cool. All right. Let's talk to Kendra in Humboldt. Then we'll take our break. We'll come back with Eugene from L.A. What's up, Kendra? How you doing?
Hey, gentlemen, I am doing well. Brad, nice to have you in the studio.
Hi.
I had to call in and say, hey, when I heard BJ Penn's walkout music, I got goosebumps.
Me too.
And it got me thinking, even though that was not a good performance and I really don't expect to see him in the cage again, it made me think, who are those fighters that I am so thankful that I got to see perform live, and who are those people I'm going to miss? I'm never going to get to see BJ Penn fight live. in the octagon. That breaks my heart. But I get to see Fedor fight at Bellator 172 in a month. So I wanted to ask you guys, who are the people that you wish you would have been able to see and you know you never will?
Wow. That's an awesome question.
I have this bucket list that I put together.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, I have been able to see every fighter I've always wanted to see fight.
Really?
But the one thing that I can never cross off that is seeing a Pride in Japan. I saw it in the United States,
so close.
but I never did it. And you don't know how many times I look at that list and go, fuck, I messed up.
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm going to replace that with is maybe a Ryzen card or something, because we've called fights in Japan, but it's not the same. So I would say, Kendra, if you would allow it, then that would be mine, is seeing some sort of a Ryzen card or something in Japan. I've always wanted to see Kazushi Sakuraba, and I did see him fight in L.A., but I'd like to see him fight in Japan, and I'm running out of time here.
Yeah. Well, you have one off the top? Or
No. Growing up, my two favorite fighters was number 1, Vanderlei Silva, number 2, Shogun Rua, and I've got to see both of those men fight. I've shared a card with them. But I feel you on that Japan. When I was coming up, like when I was growing up, it was Pride over UFC all day. I loved Pride. I couldn't wait for Pride.
Mm-hmm.
And I really wish that I could have been able to make it to a Pride card and be a part of that whole thing. For me, I was lucky. I got to fight in Japan. So that kind of, checked a little bit of that. But, yeah, Pride is gone. So that, for me, is what I'll never get to see, which I wish I could have.
Well, I like hearing that.
Right?
Yeah.
You hear that music and you just...
That's a bad
Isn't that one
song.
where when you have a group of people and you're watching the fights, it doesn't matter what story's being told, everybody shuts up and you
That's
just
a
watch.
song right
You
there,
see
man.
Len Hart on that mic and you know there's beasts about to come out from behind that curtain. Oh, it's awesome, man.
Yeah, I like that one, man. All right, so I don't think I've seen Mark Hunt fight live, and I don't think I'm gonna, but I think it kind of fell under the Pride. I've just seen a lot of people fight live, so I'm not trying to go down that road like, look at me, everybody. But, okay, here's one thing I haven't done. So it's not going to be a fighter, but I used to go to Brazil almost 2 times a year for like a 10-year stretch. But when I stopped going, the UFC hadn't gone there yet. The UFC started in 2011. So I do want to take a card in Brazil with my cousin down there. And stadium show, Rio de Janeiro, doesn't matter. I just want to see like a Brazilian champ defend in Brazil, something like that. Because I just kept thinking all that time. I just kept sitting there going, damn, why doesn't the UFC come here? Damn, why doesn't the UFC come here? And then they finally did, and by then I stopped traveling. But that would probably be that, or like maybe a stadium show.
My number one goal in seeing live shows now is I want to see every belt change hands live.
Yeah. Kendra, that was a great question. Thanks for making us think.
Awesome
Good
question.
stuff.
Have a great day, guys.
All right,
You too.
She's a hardcore Raider fan, too.
Yeah, Kendra, the nation.
We were talking about it today when Brad walked in, man. He takes it in stride like we do.
Mm-hmm.
He pokes back, and people have been, giving him shit, but what are you going to do, man? Cowboy fans, you know how I feel. Can't stand y'all. Glad you went down. Happy. Yeah, I was in Disneyland, and I actually was on It's a Small World with my girlfriend. I go, okay, this is the happiest place on earth. I think last night might have topped it when fucking that field goal. You see the way it knuckled left?
Yeah.
And then it knuckled right? I was like, yeah, because I had a big parlay. I had the Packers on the money line. I was laughing my ass off. My Cowboy buddies were melting down. They were firing back. Use that money to get a fucking gym membership, fat boy. And I was fucking down. I was dying, man. Anyway, you're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. Take a quick break. Come back. We'll talk to Eugene from LA. We'll also talk to Tony Ferguson.
Hey, how can
What if you said it like that?
I don't get it.
insult?
No.
All right. Like if somebody called me a tamale, I might trip. I don't know.
I think it's funny.
Calm, compassion, common sense. These guys have none of that. You listen to them, so you're no better. I am awesome, though. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
Hey, Brad and Goes. What would you rather do? Would you guys rather work on leg locks with Danny, the producer, after you found out what he has in a hot sauna for 1 hour?
Fuck no.
Or do 1,000 push-ups every day for the rest of the month of January?
Oh, I'll do
1,000
that.
push-ups.
1,000 push-ups?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
beneficial to your health.
Yeah. Sorry, Danny. I thought they may want to work on leg locks with you.
No.
Huh. Hey, did you
I'm
guys
not
think Lazon
contagious.
and Held were going to do a little bit more leg locks last night?
That fight went a lot different than
It
what
did.
I
They
thought it was
struck
gonna
more
be.
than I thought. I love how Lazon almost pulled off that armbar. I mean, his transitions are so fast, but Held held his own.
He almost had him with those elbows in the beginning too.
Yeah, the elbows were. Well, yeah. He actually collapsed from one of them.
Yeah.
And then Held took his back and he was slick, but Lazon's defenses, wow, high level stuff there. I thought it'd be like maybe 10 to 12 minutes of grappling and maybe the exchanges where they stand them up to stand and trade, but it didn't work out. Now that said, I had money on Lazon, so when they announced Lazon, I was like, I almost felt guilty cashing in my ticket. Like, you make that face, but you make the face going, you've gotten me before, judges, so I don't feel guilty. I don't feel bad, and Joe shouldn't either. In fact, Joe's actually taken he's gotten on the raw end of a call before. I commend his honesty and giving props to Held and everything, but take your money and run, man, because that's just the way life is.
Yeah, right? We got a small window to make that money.
And you scored it for Held, though?
What?
You thought Held won?
No, I was biased like
Were you?
so I was like, no, Joe Lazon hurt him.
Well, no, I
was convincing myself that he won
I
that
was
fight.
thinking, well, maybe that first round, the elbows, and there was an armbar attack, and what else was there? Did he take his? I can't remember.
Held took his back.
Held took his back, but didn't Joe have? Joe had something. Wait, what was it?
He attacked the armbar twice, I think.
The armbar, no triangle. I can't remember. But anyway, those 3 moments where I was pushing for Joe. But when Bruce Buffer's reading it, I'm holding a Lazon ticket. All right, I want Lazon to win. I've been waving his pom poms the whole time. But when Bruce Buffer says this guy, and the third judge for the winner, I'm sitting here going, I'm fucked. I thought he was going to call for help. And when he said Lazon, I perked up. I go, what? I'm like, wow. Like, I thought they were going to call it for Held. Lazon agrees. I don't feel guilty about it, but whatever.
It puts Held in a tough spot because now he's had his debut. He lost. He's got this like he's down too. Joe said in the post fight though that if it comes down to where UFC even considers getting rid of him, he said he'd make that phone call
that was
to
cool.
vouch for him.
That was cool. You know who got fucked like that kind of? Ulysses Gomez.
Yeah.
Ulysses Gomez took the Ulysses.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I know
he took a late fight against John Moraga, who also lost yesterday to Sergio Pettis. Congratulations to Sergio Pettis. He took a late fight, like 10-day notice.
This is 2 weeks, yeah.
Against John Moraga in L.A., and he went in there and Moraga laid him out, All right. He got another fight. He fought Neil Seery, and I thought Ulysses won. And he didn't, so he went 0-2, but I thought he was owed that third fight. A, flyweight division isn't deep. B, he stepped in on late notice. C, that other fight was controversial. And they said, no, man, this is it. So I don't know. Held may get his walking papers because it is a more stacked division, but I like the Lazon's going to bat for him. Let's squeeze in this quick call, and then we got to get ready for Tony Ferguson. We got to figure out our break structure. Eugene, what's up, man?
Did you win some money yesterday?
I did, man. I did. I had Packers money line everywhere. I had Packers money line to Clemson money line. And,
wow.
I got that. Lazon. I took a little roll at the end on BJ. It didn't work out. But for the most part, I stacked some paper.
Nice. So 3 things I want to talk about. I'll be real quick. I know you guys are in a hurry. Number 1, what is this Barstool radio shit? It's pissing me off. I'm used to you guys starting my morning off, drinking coffee, talking MMA. Now I got to hear these 2 dumbasses talk every morning. I don't like this. Okay, that's number 1. If I need to talk to somebody, you let me know. I'll talk to them. Number 2, they did BJ Penn dirty. Everybody knows that. There's so many fights that they could have given BJ Penn to come out of retirement. To give him Yair Rodriguez is a joke. They obviously don't like BJ Penn. People know that. It sucks. What they should have done was him against Nick Lentz in the retirement fight. That could cause First of all, it'd be a good fight. Second of all, you could actually steam that in, and you know they're going to talk shit to each other. It would have been way better, and you could have put that on the pay-per-view. Number 3, I don't know what you guys thought about Todd Grisham. I don't know if you guys saw the post-fight show, but I hear rumors that he's going to be the one taking place of, what's his name? What's the guy that was working with Joe Rogan? Forgot his name.
Mike Goldberg.
Yeah, I don't think that's
Yeah. I don't like that move at all. I don't like this Grisham guy. He comes off like a little bit. He's almost like he's been an MMA fighter and he's talking shit about all these other MMA fighters. I don't like this guy at all. So I just want to give you guys my my point of view.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Eugene, for the call.
Well, in regards to Grisham, I thought he did okay.
And I thought they clarified he's just hosting.
Yeah, he's just hosting.
Okay.
But I will say this: look, anytime we've ever done something for the first time at a different level, you're gonna have your bumps in the road, right? If you listen to George and I call fights the first time, and then look at us now, it's night and day. Our very first show compared to this one, it's night and day.
Yeah,
so I would say
give the first one.
Yeah, I would say give the guy a couple tries. I mean, remember when Anik first started, how many people were going, "Oh, we hate this guy." Blah, blah, blah. Anik's great now, right?
Yeah.
And then what were his other points? Oh, Barstool. We asked that you bear with us. And then what was the last one?
Well, just a little bit more on Barstool. I'm not so sure that this move is permanent. Yeah, I guess that's all we can really say. I'm not so sure that this move is permanent. That goes for us. That goes for maybe even Barstool. So let that shake out, Eugene. Facebook Live, YouTube Live, it's working.
What's
that
Barstool?
way. It's a show that kind of took a slot that we used to have.
Oh, to 9 a.m.?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And one other thing, I'm not here to defend, I'm not captain, save a promotion or nothing like that. But Penn wanted to fight at 45, and Lentz did say I'm a 55er now. I like that what he's saying. I think that would have been epic because they've been yelling at each other. So maybe that had something to do with it. And to be fair, Penn didn't get Yair Rodriguez out of the gate. He had other opponents, and then Penn had some issues with admitting to an IV, an injury, and I think the opponent change happened a few times. So
wasn't he supposed to fight Cole Miller or something?
I can't remember. I'll look it up. I'm trying to look it up right now. But he had other opponents. But if you're going to have BJ headline, he can't headline against the tomato can. The other guy's got to be decent too. So I don't know if they did him dirty or not.
It's a business decision.
I just think he had to fight another solid 45er. But there you go. All right, we're going to take this quick break. I know it's kind of back-to-back, but they snuck up on us. And when we come back, we'll have Tony Ferguson, El Kukui for you.
What happened to Goldberg?
we'll get into that.
Tell your boss to reschedule that meeting. Call your wife and tell her lunch is off. It's time for more MMA Junkie Radio with Gorgeous George and Goes.
Brad, you had a question before the break. You were asking about Goldberg, and you've clarified that you're not necessarily always scouring the news of MMA.
Yeah.
So just to answer your question, Mike Goldberg's last broadcast was UFC 207, the one that had Ronda and Amanda Nunes. So that was actually his last call. Towards the end, he signed off thanking a few of the longtime people that he's worked with, like behind-the-scenes directors, makeup people, and it was a quiet exit. So we don't know the details. We've tried to book Goldberg for the show. He showed some interest early on, but we haven't really heard much other than a statement he posted. And
what did his statement say?
Can you look it up?
Yeah.
All right. He's going to look it up. But what we're hearing is that this was a parting of the ways. The contract wasn't up. We are hearing that this summer him and Rogan, I guess, would either have to re-sign to continue or not,
Yeah.
Rogan did that last year. Last year there was an opportunity for Rogan to sail off, but they asked him to stay, so he signed a 1-year extension. Now, I don't know what Goldberg's situation was. That's what we would ask him if we had him on the show. But what we're hearing was it wasn't the end of the contract or anything on. So now you can only speculate on, what happened, right?
Right.
All we can surmise is that the UFC just seems to be changing a lot of things with this new ownership.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Silva, elected to end on his own terms. We've heard in behind the scenes that when they sold, he actually had a small percentage of the company.
Mm-hmm.
So there was, I'm sure, a nice payout. That was incentive to go, I don't need this anymore.
Yeah.
And so he's done, and that's why they have Mick Maynard, the new matchmaker. As far as Goldberg's concerned, he was there for a long time. We felt there should have been a little bit more of a, hey, thank you for memories. And it didn't work out that way. But is that it, guys?
Yeah.
All right, so I'll read it. It says, what an incredible ride. I'll forever be grateful for being on this journey with all of you for the last 19 years. He also said, I wish I could respond to every single fan fighter, member of the media who reached out and showed their support. Gratitude and appreciation has been overwhelming and so gratifying. Thank you. Every single UFC from Ultimate Japan to UFC 207. My primary focus has been two things. First, to bring passion, energy, raw emotion to our fans around the world, dedicated diehard fans like none other. Second, to properly represent each and every fighter, from the UFC newcomers to veterans with 20-plus octagon battles. Our fighters work so hard and sacrifice so much. It was my responsibility to properly prepare and tell their stories. Tommy Toho, that video was hilarious. And just for the record, I still believe that Anderson Silva's precision is precise. That's it, man. I don't know that there's been anything else from Mike Goldberg.
Damn, I had no clue, So, again, talking about, the whole Stitch, Burt Watson, now another, you know? It's like, it's weird. It's really changing.
If you go into the forums, the chat rooms, there's speculation, but that's something we really don't do. We just go with what's presented to us. And, I get it. Like Vern Lundquist, this guy that broadcasts football, college football, he actually had a nice exit on CBS. Thanks for the memories. People actually gave him props. Well, this wasn't a retirement. And because it wasn't a retirement, I guess it was just the way, these types of send-offs work in TV. But, man, again, this company's unique. This sport's unique. Like, this is ground up. He did UFC Japan in 1997. So whatever parting of the ways there was, if you allowed him to do the show, because otherwise, if it was bad, they would say, you're fired, get out of here, we never need you again. But obviously, they allowed him to do a show. I think within that show, maybe Rogan could have said something, or maybe there could have been something at the end. I thought he deserved that.
Yeah,
if you're going to let him do the show.
Like a little slideshow or something.
Right.
Something.
We'll get into that in just a sec. Right now, we have our second guest of the day. Again, Brad Tavares in studio joining us. This is the guy that always brings it, right, Gus?
Oh, yeah.
The energy's about to go up because Tony Ferguson is joining the show here. He's got that fight booked finally against Khabib Nurmagomedov, UFC 209, March 4th in Las Vegas. What's up, Tony? How you doing?
Dude, how you guys doing?
Good, man. Welcome back to MMA Junkie Radio. You're on with George and Goes. We also have UFC middleweight Brad Tavares here with us, and we're stoked about your matchup, man. I'm glad it finally got done.
You're telling me, shit, this is a couple years in the making, man. Finally. Crap, man.
So, Tony, I'm just going to jump right to it. Instead of warming it up and getting things going, I'm just going to get right down to it. Did they finally meet your financial demands, or that you wanted a little bit more cash, right?
They met my standards. Khabib's off right out the window immediately.
Mm-hmm.
That was some trashy kind of thing. But, yeah, dude, we're good to go. We're full swing ahead. Just about ready to dip in the training camp. I'm fully excited for this one. I can't wait to put on just my absolute most perfect show out there for you guys.
Dana had been asked at a media scrum at UFC 207. He said, well, he's already got a deal. So did you get a new deal, or did you just work out financial terms for this fight only?
Well, we worked out financial terms. I've earned my stripes in this division.
Mm-hmm.
I put in my time. I put in my work. I put in my effort, especially when no fans were watching and when I didn't have cameras on me. Champions are, I don't need anybody to believe in me besides myself, because every single day I go in there and I beat myself up. That way I can go out there and I can kick some ass. I know what I'm worth and I know my numbers, and that dude's padded record is nowhere near my contention and my type of fights that I've had and presented to the world. None of his fights are. He's had a couple good last ones, but I'm watching his T-bout fights and I'm watching other fights. I'm like, man, you got welcomed into this with open arms. I was like, I'm the dude that's going to put you away, son.
There you go. Tony Ferguson, our guest here on MMA Junkie Radio. He will be fighting Khabib Nurmagomedov for the interim belt. You like that whole interim belt thing, or how do you feel about it?
I'm excited. I got a spot on my wall for it. I got right next to the Ultimate Fighter trophy, which is dope. It's super awesome to be able to go out there and just even get that strap. Mm-hmm. Who knows if McNuggets is going to come in there and defend his belt? That poor bastard never even defended one belt his whole entire life. Mm-hmm. That's how you try to make it in your division. You're like, oh, I'm not going to look back. That's a chicken shit to me, but that's a whole different story. I told him I'd give him a pass for this one, which is what I'm going to do. He's not even in the story right now. So if he's trying to box, if he's trying to do it, I will go toe-to-toe with that mug, and I will knock him out. That dude, he's going to try to go against Mayweather, Olympic boxer. Hey, son, it's a completely different sport. I like you. You're a hype train, but come back over here, 155-pound division, defend your belt if you really are man enough. And, hey, I tell you what, you got two different animals that are going to rip you apart. But first is Khabib. This dude's never wrestled a California Grizzly. I'm about to come after this dude hard. I don't know what kind of animals they have in Dagestan, but I've referred this one before, dude. I don't care how many stakes your parents tied around your neck to get the animals to play with you, man. I've been roughing it since I was little, kid, and this is a high train I'm gonna love to derail.
Damn, man, Tony's spitting venom.
Yeah. And we've come across some of them California bears. They don't mess around.
Yeah, are you saying California grizzly bears are tougher than the Dagestani bears?
I won't compare animals to animals, but I'm a whole completely different animal, and he's never prepared for that kind of ferocious beast like me, man, inside that octagon. I'm going to put fear in this kid, man. He's telling me to go train and shut up. I'm like, man, you talk too much already, son. You talk too much, son. I was like, you're already looking at me, and you responded in 2.2 minutes, son. You're worse than a stalker ex-girlfriend. You're looking at me like a hawk, like an eagle, and I want you to do that because you're going to be stressing about what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put the pressure on you. I'm going to put so much pressure on you and all your team, you guys are going to fold. And I hope that you guys make it. Seriously, I'm praying, man, that we both make it to this fight, and we can sell this bitch out, and we can put that T-Mobile spot on the fucking map again. Because I'm hyped. And we might be co-main event, but I bet you the numbers are going to be better on ours than anybody's. So
who's the main
all
event?
I got to say is I can't wait to play Punch Face.
Tyron Woodley versus Stephen Thompson's the main event, and these guys are the co-main event.
I knew it was Woodley, but I didn't know who else he was fighting. But that's a 170-pound division. That's one division that I'm really fond of, too. So I'm here to wreck shit. I've been doing strength and conditioning, getting my muscle on, and I just can't wait. I just can't wait.
No disrespect to Woodley or Thompson, but me personally, I'm more excited to see him and Khabib go at it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wanted to see. Right. I wanted to see either you or Khabib fight McGregor. Mm-hmm. What you're saying about being brought into this sport gently and stuff. Nothing against McGregor. He's done his thing. He did what he had to do to get there, and he's put away some good guys. But I don't think he's really fought that complete package MMA fighter yet that has that wrestling that I think that Tony or Khabib possesses. So I just, as a fan, would love to see that and see how he reacts to it.
You said it straight up, dude. You saw how Conor flipped his Lambo. That dude goes too fast, man. You can't control the kind of speed that I'm going to throw at you, bro. Same thing with Khabib. I'm too smooth. I'm way too slick. When I'm focused on my stand-up or if I'm focused on my jiu-jitsu, that's something that's in the breadbasket. That's something that's in the toolbox. But I got much more things I prepared for this guy. I can't wait to slam this dude. I can't wait to mop the mat with this guy. And seriously, you guys have no idea. Like, that last fight with RD8, I knew I could go 5 rounds.
Yeah,
this
that was
cat
incredible.
does not want to go into deep waters with me.
Yeah, I was super impressed.
These guys were fighting on the moon, too, man. There's like hardly any air up there in Mexico City. And the air that is there is kind of polluted. No disrespect to Mexico City. They say it themselves. Mm-hmm. And Tony wasn't huffing and puffing at all.
No, not at all. Hey, Tony, when you look at the two matchups, when you look at Khabib, you look at Conor, which one do you feel on paper is the tougher matchup?
I see Khabib getting knocked out. I think Khabib's boxing is shit. I've said it before. Conor's boxing is a little bit okay. You got to straight left. A little bit more than that in boxing, buddy. You got to understand the concept, and you got to do a hell of a lot of running. And well, that dude's pretty good at running, so maybe he might have a chance in that fight division. But that's besides the point, man. I see them trying to go toe to toe because of the ego shit, and one of them getting knocked out. So
well, I think Goz's question was
no for you.
For you, who's tougher, Khabib or McGregor? Who presents a bigger challenge?
For me?
Yeah.
Either one, man. It's not really too much. These guys are puzzles that I got that missing piece to, man. I represent the fight for autism, and I got that missing piece for these guys. This is something that a lot of guys haven't figured out, and I'm the antidote for these viruses. And,
I love it. Tony, the back and forth on Twitter, all that, the fans, we love it. Everybody loves hearing all that. But now that the matchup is set, is it one of those where it's going to stop and, hey, I'll see you on March 4th? Or do you kind of like going back and forth with this guy? Because sometimes it seems like you can get under his skin.
Oh, no, he's a bully, man. I know how to take bullies out. And straight up, dude, I'm going to pick this dude apart intellectually, creatively, and especially on that mat. I'm going to outpoint him. And I'm never going to leave it to the hands of the judges. But if that's the case, I'm going to make sure I finish him in the 5th round like a technical fault in wrestling. I'm going to outpoint you, 15-point spread, and then I'm going to pin you. Put you out of your misery. That way, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. I can't leave it to the hands of the judges. You guys saw last night. So
yeah,
it's a bad one.
You talking about Joe Lozon and Marcin Held?
But he's a good sport, and that's what we're in this sport for. We're here to just fight our best and do what we can do. Mm-hmm. And shit happens. You can't really do not much. And Joe Lozon's a good character, so props to him. I'm always a fan of Joe Lozon. He's a stud, man. And him and that Martin Held, they did a good fight. So props to him for saying what he had to say, and props to the other guy for putting on a great fight.
Tony, look into your crystal ball. 2017 on March 4th, you're telling us you're taking out Khabib. You got a spot for that interim belt. And then what? One more fight or 2 more fights? And are you seeing McGregor next? And then after that, a title defense? You want to have a busy year, or now that you're making a little bit more money, you want to slow your pace down to maybe two fights a year?
Make that money, dude. Make that money, man. I wasn't really too much about it because I thought it was going to take away from my stuff, but I got a really solid foundation around me. Mm-hmm. I got a really strong trunk. And I built that with being humble and working hard and hitting that bag freaking hard.
Yep, humble.
And as long as I keep doing the same thing and keep hitting that bag hard, I'm going to stay clean cut. I'm going to stay fit, and I'm going to stay that way for my family, which is really important because healthy mind, healthy body, is healthy fight. And thank God, thank Lord Jesus Christ and everybody who's helped me in my endeavors. But this has been an incredible journey, and I'm very thankful. And, to all the people I couldn't thank when I was in Mexico City, my coaches, Coach Billy, Coach Eddie, my sponsors, DFX Sports, thank you guys. Pursuit Fitness, thank you guys. Paradigm Sports Management, and all those supporters around the world that have always had my back. Besides all the talk and the bullshit, you guys know I love to fight. Make sure you guys watch and buy this pay-per-view. It's gonna be dope. I can't wait.
Hey, Tony, let me ask you a quick question. And me as a fighter, I don't ever like to look past anything. But
hang on one second, Brett. I hate to interrupt. Tony, can you hang in there for just a second while we do a quick commercial and sports update?
Yeah, sure. I'll take a coffee break.
Okay. All right. Awesome. All right. He's going to take a coffee break. We're going to do this commercial and sports update, and we're going to keep talking to Elko quick because he's on fire. And I know you had a question, and I had one more left, too.
I had a question for him.
All right. Thank you, Tony. Hang in there with us. We'll be right back Folks, you're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM Rush 93. We got Tony Ferguson on the line. He's going to grab some coffee. That means he's going to stir that bad boy up, and there's going to be more caffeine and more venom being
Dude, I'm fired up. I'm bouncing up and down my chair. Brad wants to sign a fight right now.
He does this all the time. Gets us fired up about the fight. We got to wait 2 months.
Make him the main
He's
event.
amazing.
Move
He's
him to the
amazing.
main.
All right, folks, we'll be right back after this quick break.
A fortune won and lost on every
Well, you go from training at sea level to 10,000.
All right, here we go. It's the second hour of the MMA Junkie Radio Show. We got Brad Tavares in studio, co-hosting today's episode. And we got a killer on the line, Tony Ferguson. He you know, if he ever has one of those basement rooms or a man cave, he actually should just have, like, bars and a key. And he tells his wife, hey, you know what? If I'm in that mode, stick me in there and don't let me out till I cool off. Because doesn't he seem like when he's doing this interview, like he's pacing back and forth like a lion?
Yeah.
You know, let's bring him back on. Tony, you're still with us, right, buddy? Tony, you get that coffee?
Hey, buddy. How's it going?
You still making that coffee? How's that coffee tasting?
Oh, it tastes good, buddy. It's real good.
Let me tell you something. By the way, it better not be some foo-foo coffee with whipped cream. I mean, you've kind of been selling us on a fight here with this angry Russian, and you're angry. So is it straight black?
Dog. It's straight black, man. I don't know. My wife prepares it, but I tell her don't really do anything. We got that little, what is it called, that Keurig machine.
Yeah.
And, it's pretty dope, man. And I'll take one of those. I really don't drink too much coffee. I don't like to stay too stimulated.
Yeah.
But today I felt like building a house. So I drank the coffee. So that's my pre-workout for today. You know, I'll get some protein pancakes in, and we're going to hit these weights hard. We're going to hit these weights really hard right now, man.
I'll give the stage to
I
Brad.
gotta go to the gym now.
Brad had a question, and we're going to run out of time. So go ahead, Brad.
Yeah, hey, Tony, me as a fighter, I don't, you know, every time somebody asks, you know, blah, blah, what's next, this and that, I know you're focused on Khabib and not too much past that. But just quick question. With all this, it seems like the new thing now. All these champions want to, excuse me, they all want to fight in other divisions. I feel like you're a pretty big 55er. I don't know how your weight cut goes or whatever, but I feel like you could compete competitively at 70. Like, if you do win this interim and then unify, is that something that you would be looking to do in the future?
Correct. For me, being just a fighter and loving challenges and welcoming all challenges, I won the Ultimate Fighter and I knocked everybody out at 170. Besides that part, I fought like 10 fights at 170. I was enjoying life. I didn't really have to make the cut. My weight training was completely different. And just the whole mental mind and attitude was great. So I think for me, fighting at a regular, normal walk-around weight, what I usually walk around and competing at that weight, yeah. It's highly possible. It's highly probable. I would love to get a second belt, but that's really not the focus. The focus at hand, especially for me, because, you know, there's a lot of people switching belts and switching divisions. I get it, man. You got to stay on top of it. You got to get people talking about everything. But for me, it's about the challenge. It really is. These guys are a whole different kind of animal. They're taller, they're bigger, and they're slower. And that's what I know because I'm quicker. I've been spending more time at 155 pounds. And I think that's the approach that you have, like RDA trying to take going up to 170 and Cowboy. But Cowboy's a natural 170-pounder. So for myself, as far as my height and my build, yeah, I can even make 205.
Damn. What about 185? So you're kind of skipping over that one. 185.
Well, I just hired in a smart kid. His name's Sean. He's a strength and conditioning dude, and he's taking me on a whole new level. I told him I want a 30-day challenge. As I'm changing my whole entire diet. I'm changing everything. I'm going to listen to your instruction. Me and my wife, we're going through this, and it's funny. But I'm doing double time. I'm transferring this stuff. I'm really getting into this mental game as far as mental preparation and taking this a whole new level. That blueprint that I had at Snapdown City Academy was amazing, but this time I'm going to allow myself to be coached a little bit.
Tony, every day when you're having breakfast with your wife, your cup of coffee, and you're going on your MMA Junkie app that's available on tablets and mobile phones, by the way. When you started checking the news and you saw Aldo and Khabib being talked about, what did you think? Did you think that was posturing, games? Did that frighten you that maybe you were losing your shot at an interim title? What was going through your head?
I just had like this vision in my head, like a whack-a-mole game, like Khabib wearing his hat and Aldo trying to, like, you know, him trying to fight. And I tried to figure out that fight, and I just couldn't put it in my head. And it's the same thing that Khabib did. He's like, man, this dude's too small. Mm-hmm. He's like, no way. And Khabib's a man of his word, and I'll give him respect and his family. You know, Senior Nurmagomedov for sticking to their guns. The same thing with me. This is a fight that everybody wants to see. They don't want to see Aldo get his ass kicked again, get mauled by a Russian, a Dagestani warrior. No, they want to see a Dagestani warrior and a Mexican warrior go at it. They want to see us tear each other apart, man, limb from limb. And I'm going to mop that mat with his hat. You're going to have to get a new one after I'm done.
Jeez.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, so you figured the deal would get done. That's what you pay Paradigm for. You weren't losing sleep.
No, absolutely not, man, because I was enjoying time with my kid, and just having my babies changed my life. And you guys obviously see me mature day and night. And I love it, man. It's an awesome opportunity that I have. And I just can't wait to keep growing and give you guys more videos, because I don't have to be so ninja about my stuff anymore. This dude's researching me. There's a punch is a punch, a kick is a kick. But now I'm ready to go out there and throw some sparring videos out and really let you guys in my world, to let you guys see how I train and how I really am mentally and physically tough.
Mm-hmm. Good stuff, man. I'm glad we got a chance to talk to you. So we're going to leave you alone for a couple months. I'm sure we'll catch up with you on Fight Week here in Las Vegas. But it sure as hell doesn't seem like anyone's got to motivate you to wake up in the morning. You're pretty fired up about the fight, about your career, about leaving a legacy. I can tell you want to be one of the great ones.
It's about being a legend. I know this guy wants to be a hero in his country, but heroes and legends are completely different. And I'm not going to reflect back to any quotes that everybody knows from Sandlot. But legends are made from those people that do the things when nobody is watching. Champions believe in themselves when nobody else does. What I want to do and what I want to leave people when they leave that fight is a goosebump, chilling, shivering feeling that's shocking and rocking their spirit in the world. That they know that what they just witnessed was something inspirational between two different types of people going in there and battling it out and giving everybody in the whole entire world exactly what they want, is raw carnage.
I love it. That's gladiator stuff there, man. That's like this fight should be in the Roman Coliseum. Yeah. All right. Well, Tony, thank you so much for doing the interview. We appreciate it as always. I hope you have a safe camp, and I guess we'll see you in a few months here in Las Vegas. UFC 209, March 4th, you versus Khabib Nurmagomedov for that interim title.
That's right. Hey, thank you, guys.
Hey, best of luck to you, Tony.
Take care, Tony. There you go, folks. That's El Cucuy, a.k.a. the California Grizzly. He sure left a lot of sound bites out there, right?
Yeah, he did. I was writing them down.
No shortage there of titles for the recap. There's probably 2 recaps coming out of that one. Well, I'll tell you what. I guess, Brad, I wanted to talk about something. You know, we were talking about Max Holloway earlier. Actually, you know what? We'll talk about it on the next break. But I am really loving that fighters are starting to steer the ship on their careers. A lot of people say it's the UFC's job to promote you. They're right. They really are right. The UFC has to find different ways to evolve with social media. People's attention spans are different. Some of the younger kids don't want to sit through an hour-long countdown, you know. They want quicker stuff. That's why Embedded kind of has a little bit of success. Mm-hmm. But I also feel like not just fighters, all professional athletes could also do a better job of promoting themselves, you know. So the way to do that is to go in the history books and see, well, what got us there. Muhammad Ali quotes Gorgeous George, the wrestler. He says, that was the man. I took something from there. And then you have, you know, the mantles that just got passed on from there. Like Ric Flair, I think got some Muhammad Ali, you know, the pro wrestler.
Right.
Mayweather got a little bit of Ric Flair and Muhammad Ali and maybe Gorgeous George, you know. And I think a lot of the wrestlers you see now and MMA fighters are starting to say, okay, I'll take a little bit of that, take a little bit of this, and create their own swag, you know?
I guess. I'm just I mean, I guess some people, they have to do it. It works, whatever. I don't know. I was always just a believer in being and staying true to who you are. If that is who you are, like McGregor came on the scene and that's who he was from day one, and that's who he is. But like, I don't know, if you started off as a humble fighter that just backed that got everything done, basically did it in the octagon. No need for words. Like, we'll see come that fight night in that cage, like, just be you, just stay you, stay true to who you are. I don't know, that's just how I feel about it. I feel like a lot of people
and you're
right
not
now,
wrong. You're not wrong.
I feel like a lot of people right now are trying to bite off Conor McGregor's whole bit, but one thing is that nobody really does it like him, and two, he's already doing it. I think Chael kind of had that going, but Chael wasn't able to back it in the octagon. Chael is an excellent fighter, but he wasn't as well versed as somebody like Conor. Conor, he's very, very intelligent, so he can speak really well, and on top of that, he's a really good fighter. He's powerful. He has power, and like what he preaches all the time, he has that precision and that timing down.
You're not wrong. There's an audience for that. There's an audience for different ways to build a fight and build a persona, a character, an image. I just tend to believe that most fans love the drama. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
I don't want to. The heel, the bad boy, the one that I guess puts it all out there, because you kind of just appreciate the balls, like to say, shit, I'm gonna take him out, and later on, and you're just like, wow, goddamn, you should have your hands full here. He's already thinking a few moves ahead.
Yeah.
You're just like, wow. Now, granted, sometimes it blows up on the face, and you go, oh, he pissed, locker room talk, and whatever. But then when they pull it off, it's epic. Like, Joe Namath was the first guy to guarantee he was going to win the Super Bowl. It still gets talked about because they were a big underdog, and he had the balls to do it. And if he would have blown up in his face, people they'd say, man, what'd you do that for? You lost focus. But he pulled it off.
Babe Ruth pointing,
yeah. There's just certain moments that they roll the dice, they put themselves out there, and it worked. And when it does, it's like, man, all the praise is just heaped on you.
Yeah.
And when it blows up on your face, there's two ways to handle it. One, man, that was dumb. I went for it, though, And then people go, yeah, I would have done that shit, too. And then there's others that just, kind of go into a shell and, and like, I guess a little bit of what Ronda did and just stay quiet because they don't know how to handle it.
Right.
That's why I thought Conor was also brilliant. One of his most brilliant moves was the way he handled the Diaz loss.
Right.
He actually faced the public, paid his respect, got that damn rematch done, and then now look at him. It's like everyone almost forgot that. People want to give him Fighter of the Year in 2016, even though he lost once. But they remember what he did to Alvarez, and they remember that he won the Diaz fight, the second one.
So, like, my thing with Conor when he first came out, like, you always see these guys coming out getting praised, whatever, and it's like, at first, you're always like, oh, the hype train, whatever. Same like with that kid Sage Northcutt. But the thing that I always appreciated about Conor is that he'll talk all this mad shit, but if you always see him at the end of the fight giving his props. Like, he'll still stick to what he says, his guns, whatever, but he'll at the end of it he'll give his props, and he's always respectful, and he'll still say, like, I still believe that I'm the better guy. Like, I did what I said I was going to do. I said I was going to come in here and knock you out because, like he told Alvarez, you didn't belong in here with me. I still stick to that, but, you're a warrior, blah, 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 blah. But, like, my whole thing is that with, like, McGregor is, like, he's saying these things. And just, like, kind of like how you heard Tony. Like, what he's saying is, like, like, he really believes in what he's saying. There's intelligence behind it. Like, it's almost, like, embarrassing to me when you hear some guys, like, try to bite Conor and it sounds, like, gimmicky or, like, it just doesn't sound well thought out.
You're right. You have to be good at it. You have to practice it, too. It's like acting. If somebody said, do you want to be in Sly's next movie or whoever's cool now? I don't know. Who's cool now?
Actor-wise?
Yeah.
Who's Slide?
Sly Stallone.
Stallone.
Like, I'm thinking action or whatever. But if you want to be in someone's next movie, you'd probably say, all right.
The Rock.
Even though you're not an actor. Or The Rock, right? Mm-hmm. When you get there, man, you got to work at it.
Yeah.
You got to work on your lines or whatever. Otherwise, they're not going to call you back. So it does I think you start off slow. Like, we've had Tony on the show. If I were to play you one of his first interviews, it wasn't like that. He's getting better and more comfortable. That's what happened to Conor. We had Conor on when he was Cage Warriors champion, not even UFC.
Yeah.
And he gave us a pretty good interview. I was like, damn, that was pretty good. We had him on the following week. Same thing. He's a monster now.
Yeah.
Now he says, I own the sport and give me shares. He wasn't saying that in the Cage Warriors days, but he's gotten better and better and better. He's put work in it. Chael Sonnen, same thing. Better and better, more confident, and now you got a bunch of lines. You just flow better.
Yeah.
It takes work, though.
Yeah. Chael was really the first to do it, though. But
in our sport, I thought, yes, consistently, yes, where he was just a character.
What about Tito?
I thought Tito was pretty good back in the day.
Say Tito back in the day.
And he kind of fell apart a little bit because he didn't keep putting in the time. But I remember one moment. I don't know if we were there live or if we were watching the pay-per-view, but that's when the Chuck Liddell rivalry was building up. And I remember he had just won a fight, and he goes, if it's got to be me and Chuck Liddell, that's fine too. But you will be the last of the Mohicans, kind of taking a shot at the Mohawk.
Yeah.
And they showed, and the whole crowd went, oh, ooh, burn, that type of thing. And then they showed Chuck, and he was fucking fuming, Yeah. So you could tell that line was delivered. Looking back, it's not the funniest line I ever heard.
Yeah.
But he flowed. He didn't stumble on his words, and he pulled it off.
Yeah, it did its point,
Right.
The thing about Tito is that he was like the first real heel in our sport, like how wrestlers,
the grave,
the sticking the fingers,
Ken Shamrock's my
got
bitch.
another one.
Remember the T-shirts?
Tank was kind of a heel too.
A little bit too,
but Tito took it to a different level.
Yeah,
right. And it just keeps going and going. So what you do as a fighter, I just think you have to go back and go, okay, if the object's to be famous and make money, what do I do? And I don't think there's anything wrong with looking to the past. If it's just to win titles and be quiet and and be humble like Fedor, then just win fights. Your respect and money will come, but it's a longer road.
Yeah.
We were talking about something about McGregor, and I think you started to go down a road, but you didn't. But if not, I'll take it. McGregor, his title runs have been a little easier than other fighters. Like, look what this is going to be his 10th fight. Tony Ferguson. Habib is on his 8th. This is going to be his 9th. Conor's title runs weren't as long. But where I do give Conor respect is he beat an all-time great in Aldo in 13 seconds.
Yeah.
And then he punished Eddie Alvarez pretty damn good in title fights, guys that were, just legit champions. So that I give a lot of respect to. But the title runs, those have been tougher. Yoel Romero's still begging to get Bisping. He hasn't gotten that yet. And there's others that have just taken longer. Max Holloway just won his 10th fight in a row since losing to McGregor. Now, the reason McGregor got that short title run is because he could talk.
Exactly. He sold himself into that position, but he backed it with his skill.
He did back it. Once he got there, he backed it.
That's the thing.
But the road to get there, he didn't have to go through Edgar. He did get Mendez on a shorter camp. He avoided Lamas, and I'm naming those guys because those guys are those wrestler guys that could give him trouble. Mendez gave him trouble.
Yeah, Mendez did, and Mendez. And I've always still wanted to see that fight on a full camp. And it's not to say that Conor wouldn't be able to, whatever, because you seen how that first round went. And it's also not to say that Mendez would definitely beat him because if he had a full camp, whatever. The other thing around that time, that people always say is fighters will always say they're always training this and that, but there is a total different mindset that goes into a camp when you have a fight. I can go to the gym and train every day, but does that mean I'm fully preparing myself for a fight? No, I'm trying to get better. I'm trying new things. I'm trying to see what works, what doesn't. Can I add this? Should I not? That type of stuff. But when it's fight camp, you're adding very little and just sharpening the shit out of everything that you have and focusing on, this one person, or not so much that, but focusing on really what you intend to do to come that night. So, I would love to see that fight on a full camp, or like I said, I would love to see McGregor fight Khabib or Tony, either one of them.
But when it's all said and done, those are the little intangibles that people look at. The reason why people love Sugar Ray Leonard, even though he had a few losses, was he fought the best guys that were available at the time.
Right. And
if
Mayweather
he avoids guys like Frankie Edgar, Habib, then those are the things that get picked at towards the end when people are trying to figure out who are the all-time greats.
Right, and that's what Mayweather's feeling right now. Mayweather's saying, I'm 49-0. The only other guy that's 49-0 was Rocky Marciano. But Rocky Marciano is talked about as being an all-time great. And so is Mayweather. It's just that at 49-0 in this era, Mayweather should have topped Marciano. And I think Joe Kawasaki is the other undefeated champion in the history of the game. But who do you always come back to still? Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Robinson, Sugar Ray Leonard. You know, there's certain fighters that are still going to stand the test of time. Why? Because they fought the best at the best, regardless of the losses. And that's going to happen in MMA as well. It's not going to matter so much if you are undefeated as if you fought the best at the best. Now, McGregor's playing a different game. I think he loves the money, obviously.
Yeah.
So he's playing that. He's going to retire with a bunch of money. But one day, is he going to be able to sit back, and are people going to go, man, that's a legend? I think so. But are they going to compare him to some of the other legends? I don't know. He still needs title defenses.
Yeah.
And
that's what makes GSP so great.
Right, exactly. He's doing the Mayweather dance, which is going to get him paid, but he's not defending. You know, he got pissed because they took away 45. Well, think about it. He said it hasn't even been a year why they stripping me. But he had no plans to fight till after the baby in May. It would have been 18 months with no title defense. They had to take that away. They had to let Aldo and Edgar and Holloway make a living and figure out who's best there. Yair, Bektik. And as far as 55, he's not defending that either. So he's got these belts. He's got these moments. He's got these images. But that legendary status, he has to work on that, man. He really does.
Yep.
That's why I pay homage to fucking George, man. He fought everyone.
Yep, he fought anybody and everybody.
Every single fighter out there. I mean,
and a lot of times too, like people would give him shit about, the way he's fighting this and that. And it's like, think about it though. Once you get to the top, where is there to go from there?
Right.
Only down, and it's like these guys coming in, they kind of almost have nothing to lose. I mean, yeah, they might not be the champion, but they were in the champion before. You're the champion. The target is on your back, and you gotta, you can't. I don't know. Like, I felt like it is when I really thought about it. Like, yeah, we know what George St. Pierre is capable of. We know he can knock people out. We know he can submit people. You kind of want to see that, but he's a champion, and he's trying to cement his, like what you guys said, his legend status.
Yeah.
And I think he did just that, and he went out on top. He retired the champion. I like it.
Let's take this call from Bob from Calgary. Then we'll take our first break of the second hour. What's up, Bob? How you doing?
Living the dream, boys. Living the dream. Listen, you guys didn't touch on this with Ferguson. I think the best part about this interim belt, we get 5 rounds of this goodness. I think the only thing better is if the UFC were able to put mics inside the octagon and hear the trash talking that's going on. So for me, who cares? Give them a fake belt if it means we get 5 rounds.
Yeah,
I guess you could look at it that way.
Because they're the co-main event that night, so they were really only going to be 15 minutes.
Yeah, that's
but because
really
they made
good
it
point.
interim, we'll get 25. Yeah. I don't know what they're feeling with these interim titles. I mean, McGregor just fucking won 2 months ago. Do they really need to do an interim title? They already have a title at the top of the bill with Woodley and Thompson. I guess double title sell. I don't know. We're still trying to figure out WME IMG. And WME IMG, as far as I know, hasn't done any interviews, so we don't even know. I want to put a microphone and say, what the fuck are you guys all about? Give us a statement,
Mm-hmm.
But they haven't. That's just the way they operate. So for now, all we can do is sit back and go, that's silly. Because in my opinion, it's silly. I don't think they need it, but who knows?
I don't even know who WME IMG is.
And you work for him.
No, at least before we used to see like Lorenzo around, at all the fights and our little talks and stuff, but I don't know. Maybe we do see him. I just don't know. I don't know.
I think if you're looking at, and I hate the conspiracy theories, guys, but if you look at it that route, then what you would say is, well, all right, they love Conor. Why not take these 2 guys who we feel could possibly beat him and make them work even harder? Because now they got to fight 5 rounds.
Right.
Maybe they beat the shit out of each other for 5 rounds and soften him up so that when he gets up to, that sort of thinking.
Yeah, Conor. He did it. He pulled it off. He managed to get that type of power where he's not going to get shares, but control over how he can manage things. And you're right. Right here, he doesn't have to fight both now. One guy's going to pick off the other one.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry, Bob.
Well, sorry, guys. Man, I wanted to touch on BJ Penn, but with maybe I'll just do that tomorrow. I'll give you guys something.
Do it. Spit it. What you got?
No. I got your in-studio guest. I want to ask him something, if you don't mind. Listen, Robbie Lawler, he's leaving ATT. We haven't put yourself in his shoes. We all know basically his career and what he's been through. I'd like to know, would you think he's leaving because because Woodley's the champion and he just wants to get away from that? Or do you think steel sharpens steel and he should have stayed? Thanks a lot, guys.
All right, thanks, Bob.
So my thing is that I know there's a bunch of different ATTs, and I don't necessarily know if they do. I don't know if you guys do. Do they train together?
Who?
The other ATTs?
Woodley and Lawler. They don't, right?
I think they've only trained once or twice, and it wasn't really much.
Yeah, because there's like a Coconut Creek ATT. There's a blah, blah, ATT, whatever. And so I don't really think Robbie and Woodley train together. So I don't think that, or I don't know. I can't really speculate if that's why he's leaving. But what I would assume is that he just feels that, like he's gotten all he can from there,
right.
and it's time to try something new, and you can't hate on a guy for that. And I would hope that all his friends and coaches at ATT would give him their blessing and say, yeah, if you don't feel at this point that you're growing anymore, then yeah, you should try on to the next.
And it's worked for him in the past, right?
Yeah.
We saw him with Miletich and how far that went, the hit squad, how far that went, and then ATT. Every single time he's kind of taken a jump.
The Arizona, what do they call? Power Fitness?
Oh, Power.
He worked with them, too.
Yeah.
Bader and them.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bob, for the call. All right, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on Sirius XM Rush 93. We have Brad Tavares in the house. We got half an hour to go here. We'll go back to UFC Fight Night 103, talk about a few of the fights that took place there. Also, there's an announcement where UFC 210 is going to take place in Buffalo, and I think it's April 8th.
April 8th.
April 8th?
Yeah,
in Buffalo. So they're going back to Buffalo after so many years. They're coming strong with New York. Also, Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw are going to be the coaches for the next Ultimate Fighter. So I think it makes sense, put them in there, build it up, have them fight. I just wanted to see the fight a little sooner than probably sometime in the summer, but whatever. All right, folks, we'll be right back. Stay close.
They are the stretch marks on the underbelly of the MMA community. But hey, stretch marks are the new tats. They are Gorgeous George and Goes.
Hey, Brad, you kind of perked up when I mentioned UFC 210, April 8th. Could you be ready by then? Is that a good one there for you to maybe like start to look at a rebooking with Lombard or anybody else?
Yeah, I mean, I heard that last night on the show, and I was thinking like timetable wise, I think, you know, I would be good to go, and that would be cool. That would have been cool to be a part of any of the New York cards. I recently just had my first trip out to New York in my life ever. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like it?
Yeah, I was supposed to go for 205 just to check it out, do that, you know, just because the fights were there. I don't typically care to go to fights or whatever, but just because it was, you know, like a big thing, you know, it was like first UFC show or whatever, so I was like, I'm going to go out. Some stuff came up. I had to go back to Hawaii that weekend, so I rescheduled the trip, and I went out ending of November for the lighting of the Christmas tree and stuff, and did that whole thing, did the whole touristy thing, Empire State Building, Statue of Liberty.
Did you go to the top?
No.
You
Or
like heights?
Empire State I did.
You like heights?
I don't care. I don't mind it.
So
I like jumping off of stuff into water.
You could look over and go, oh, man.
You do?
Yeah. No, crappy thing. So that's why I have to go back. They're like, oh, the weather was terrible. They're like, oh, visibility is 0. So when we went up there, you literally couldn't see anything. But I was like, I got to do it anyway. We bought this 2-day pass or whatever it was. Mm-hmm. So we did it. And I had a blast in New York. So
what's the highest you've ever jumped?
You're
talking about off cliffs in the water, right?
Yeah. Probably this place in Big Island called Pihonua Falls. Mm-hmm. It's pretty high. It takes a long time to get up there. You got to like walk up there.
How you spell that?
Pihonua Falls.
Hey, guys, at this moment, who's a bigger legend, BJ Penn or Conor McGregor?
For me, I'm going to say BJ Penn.
Yeah, I mean, it's a slam dunk, but I guess if you're talking about just all the MMA fans in general.
No, just you.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
It's BJ Penn.
Yeah.
Because, look, I don't want to slight fans. We're fans. But we're also media. But if you eventually ask a fighter about their career, they appreciate what their colleagues think, so meaning fellow fighters for you, and the media they've come to respect, probably fans that they have also respect that they've become real close with. That's who they want to know from, like, what did you think of my career, you know? McGregor's got a huge following. That's why whatever he could be up for, like, Mexican of the Year, and he might win it.
Yeah, he's a
because
superstar.
There's just so many people are like, he's Conor, you know, check mark. But in reality, what they want when their careers are over is the respect of their peers, like I say, certain media, other notables, and so that's going to mean a lot. And a lot of the respect that comes from the media and the peers are testing yourself. And that's what I was getting at. Just to finish up something I started earlier.
Yeah.
Conor hasn't gotten that just yet. Now, that'll come with the title defenses. And that's what BJ Penn, even though you look at his record or look at a guy like Randy Couture and go, wow, they lost 6, 7, 8 times, but they tested themselves.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
You know, they went up and down in divisions, and they always fought top-notch guys. The money came later. This guy's kind of taken like a little bit of a different path, but
he created that.
He still has a ways to go. You know what I mean? That to finish out, I guess what I was saying about Mayweather and McGregor. Okay, you guys got the money, man. Kudos, respect, everything. But at some point, there's other things that you live for, and you want others to go, man, you were one of the best. You know,
Dude,
you want that to come from people you respect.
BJ Penn fought Lyoto Machida for probably not a lot of money when nobody was watching.
Mm-hmm. And Rory McDonald,
he
you know,
fought
Roy's
Lyoto
big.
Machida.
Fucking John Fitch. He didn't want 55ers. He wanted welterweights. Hughes, GSP. I mean, he didn't give a fuck. Renzo Gracie was a middleweight when he fought him.
Yeah.
You know, he never concerned himself with being the bigger guy or fighting. He just wanted to test himself.
He just wanted to scrap.
And that's why people respect the hell out of him.
Yeah.
When that music came on yesterday, I was like, oh, man, that's so awesome. I really wanted him to win. It's just sinking in now. It didn't go his way.
I know we were texting about that last night too. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be talking about a BJ victory.
Do you guys believe in that music is so BJ? It's what you think, right? Whenever you hear it, no matter where you hear it. But would you ever like for BJ to hand that over to someone, another Hawaiian?
On one aspect, that would be
because it seems like it
dope.
represents you guys so much that I hate to see it leave all of mixed martial arts.
Right. Like I would like that would be cool if like BJ was like, hey, Brad, it would be something if you would really walk out to this. I would be like stoked. I'd be like, sure. You know, but then at the same time, like that's BJ's thing. That's BJ, you know. It's part of what made him BJ, I feel like. And
almost like Apollo when he gave Rocky the trunks. Yeah. Something like that.
That would.
Would you ever want to walk out with BJ?
What to a fight?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. If he was around and wanted to be part of my camp and stuff, of course.
Even if he wasn't part of your camp, but the UFC said, yeah, you could take a 5th guy. Like, let's say it's a title fight, you get 4, and he can just walk out and then tail off. You know, not be part of the corner, but just like that type of support.
Yeah, sure. If he wanted to, then yeah.
Like that's one thing I like about boxing, and even going back to Pride, is I think there's something for that production, like that music, the ramp, the introductions, the fireworks, and then in boxing, it can be a little bit of a circus act, but I'm just used to it, man. Like I think Mayweather got a little crazy with the Burger King guy and all that, but even if it was just Biebs or whoever else was in the corner, you know, whoever else he was rolling with, I thought it was cool. That's your entourage, and then let them tail off.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to see 50 people in a ring before a fight starts, but the walkout should be the walkout. As long as it's not abused.
That's kind of how it is in Hawaii. Like you're only supposed to have this many guys, but basically your whole team walks out with you and then tails off. You have your few guys in the corner, but
like the Gracie train was amazing. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Hoist and all them, how they'd walk out.
See, I like what they're doing over at Bellator with like letting the athletes, you know, kind of like spice it up a little bit. Yeah. But the only thing with Bellator is that a lot of their fights they have to like they've been getting laughed at a lot because their fights been really like I don't know, circusy almost. Like,
no, but I know what you
some
mean.
Of the legends and
When Mike Richmond came out, who by the way is fighting again, when he came out in San Diego, I remember the guy next to me goes, "Who you got, the Marine or you know?" And he had just started covering mixed martial arts, so he was just kind of like getting adjusted. I forget who he fought that night, but when Richmond came out, they had a salute to his you know, to his service. I think he's a Marine, and so right away you were able to attach yourself and say, that's the Marine. King Mo was the guy with the crown, you know. Tito was the Huntington Beach bad boy. Yeah, they all kind of had something that you left the arena with, and that's how you become a fan. You got to attach yourself to something.
Yeah, and
you
so
guys are just walking out with Reebok, and I feel bad because, you know, it's like until you walk by me, I go, oh, it's Tavares.
Yeah.
Like if I don't know you. It says UFC and Reebok. You have to walk by, and then I go, oh, it's Rodriguez. Oh, it's Tavares. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm a hardcore fan. I know who it is. I just recognize your face. But the other fans that are there, they need to latch on to something.
Yeah. So, like, when I was before I moved out here to Vegas, fighting in Hawaii was still really big. Like, for whatever reason, they don't do as much big shows anymore. It just ain't what it used to be. And I'm glad that when I left, it still was, you know, and it kind of like fizzled down after because, you know, it's kind of a sad thing to think about. But anyway, Blaisdell, they still used to do big Icon shows and X1 shows. And at that time, right before I left, it was Mayhem Miller. Mayhem Miller was doing his thing there. But the reason why I used to love going to watch his fights is because of his entrances.
Right.
That's it. I didn't care too much to watch
Didn't he have
fight.
A bucket of chicken with sparklers? Or
he had all kind of stuff.
Pinata too.
He came
got
out
hit with candy and
he came out with those Chinese the dragons.
Yeah,
that's
that
right.
was one of the cool
Came
ones.
out with that with the whole drums thing, and like he just used to do like he reminded me of back in the day watching Genki Sudo.
Yeah,
doing all kind of crazy stuff, and you know it was fun to watch.
Yeah,
and it was exciting, and
you
look
go
forward
to
to that.
Fight?
I did when Trig pummeled him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
so
what's
that
crazy?
one, I actually was in Trig's corner, and as we're standing there, we were the way Blaisdell Arena. I'm not going to describe it, but there's just an area where the locker rooms are close to a door to where kids can go get hot dogs or whatever. And as soon as they started playing a certain music, I heard the kids go, "Mayhem!" and they fucking dropped what they were doing, and they ran out of the line and ran in there. I'm telling you, Mayhem owned that place for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Him, Lawler, Trigg, they had some good fights.
He's right, though. You look forward to it, but not only do you look forward to that fight, you look forward to the next one because you want to know what's he going to do next time he comes out.
Right.
That's how you sell pay-per-views and all that. Speaking of Frank Trigg, he just texted. He's in town, and he said he can make a show this week if we want him.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, cool. I'd love to have him back. All right, let's do a couple calls. We got to wrap up pretty soon here. It is Martin Luther King Day. It's a national holiday, and we probably waited too long to say this, but, you know, a great civil rights leader who used nonviolent ways of pushing his movement, man. He did a lot for his country, so we definitely honor him. And hopefully you're all, anybody that's watching and you're off and you're enjoying time with the family, there's sports on TV. I know the NBA has a slate of games. I'm seeing college hoops. We're presenting this show here, recapping UFC 103, Fight Night 103, talking to Brad Tavares about what's next with him. Anyway, I just hope everyone has a nice, safe day today.
Yep.
All right. Dan in Oregon. What's up, Dan? How you doing?
What up, gentlemen? Yo, in honor of this free for Fight Pass, I want everyone to go check out UFC 125. Go check out the prelims. Watch Brad Tavares knock out Phil Baroni in Dustin Poirier's first fight in the UFC. Do yourself a favor. That shit aired on, like, Ion or something like that.
Oh, Ion, yep, and Facebook, I think. I was like,
we were at that.
I was like, UFC 125. That sounds familiar. Who was on that?
That was Edgar and
I forgot.
Maynard, right?
I was even on that fight. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
draw.
an epic fight.
That was the draw.
Yeah.
And then, Edgar was in more trouble than BJ Penn.
Yeah.
I have no problem with the stoppage. All right, continue, Dan.
Do you guys think that this free for Fight Pass happened just because Invicta 21, because we got, now our featherweight contender coming out of that matchup, especially with that epic call-out? Do you guys think that was just a coincidence, or was that the whole was that Eric Winters kind of...
I don't even know what you're talking about. What's the free for Fight Pass? Do you know, Gus?
Yeah, isn't it free?
So you don't know? What happened?
I don't know.
Was it free this
that.
weekend, or is it free sign-ups, or what's going on with Fight Pass?
Free all weekend. You did not need a credit card. They were just...
I think they're just joining the party. HBO does that. Showtime does that. Cinemax.
They do like once every couple months.
I think even the Hot Network, even the pornos, they do it, man. They'll give you a whole free weekend. Brad must have taken a peek. He must have enjoyed one of those weekends.
I didn't even know they had that.
You're not a connoisseur of porn, Brad?
Nah.
No, come on.
Every
guy
that don't get laid.
No,
I really.
That's a good comeback, though.
I really am not. I don't know.
And the boys, when you're playing cards or just goofing off, you don't have one always on porn? One TV always on porn? No?
I feel like that would be pretty weird. Is that how you guys get down? Madden on one screen, porn on the other?
We have 3 TVs, and there's sports. There's John Madden, and then there's porn on the other one.
No, just video games.
Have you ever seen a porn?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so you're not a square then. All right,
no,
so you've seen a porn.
No, I've seen a porn, yeah.
And what happened?
Just to take care of business or to see what it was?
Huh?
What happened? You watch it and say, this is silly or what?
No. I don't know. No, wait, were you asking me?
Just to take care of business?
No, I thought you were asking me like if I fucking collect porn. And,
no, nothing like that. No.
Oh, no. Of course, yeah. I've watched fucking porn, yeah.
You remember the name? Was it Forrest Hump?
No, I don't remember the name.
Was it The Magic of David Copperfield?
Not at all. I don't remember.
Was it Booty and the Beast?
I think it was on it was definitely online. Oh, actually, I think the first porn I ever did watch was probably one of those softcore porns. Back in the day, we had the little black box that could steal the cable and all the HBO channels, and I was flipping through, and I was probably young and
you know which one's a real good one? Gladiator. Sorry, Dan. Continue.
Armageddon.
Yeah.
Let's get back on the rails here. Megan Anderson, man, with that promo, she's #1 featherweight contender.
Why don't you go back to your home on Whore Island?
Megan Anderson, that was an epic finish, man. She really put it on her. That I really enjoyed watching. I didn't watch it live, but I got to see a replay during the football games, and I love those types of finishes when they smell blood. Even though the other girl, Charmaine Tweet, was trying the spinning back fist just to catch her, she knew she was going down with the ship. Megan put it on her.
For reals, and I'm not for Nunes coming out and trying to call out, I want the 145-pound belt next. It's like they are building up fighters for you on Fox right now. You got Shevchenko and Pena out there going at it. That's your fight. Give Megan the next fight, or Megan, at featherweight. But, man, I got to throw out a new category for kind of this fighter of the year type stuff, and we're going to make it the Joe Lozon category. Fuck the judges, I didn't win that bout. And Joe Lozon is in the lead for 2017. I love a fighter coming out and actually saying that shit, man. Everybody was thinking it. The fact that he said it, I was just applauding him sitting on my couch. I'm a bigger fan of him, and Held should have got that win on his belt. And, you know, I don't often agree with RJ, but Habib versus Big Ferg, that is for the actual lightweight belt, man. You got Habib out there, 8-0 at lightweight in the UFC. And if you want to be like Juliana Pena, then Tony Ferguson is out there, 15-1 in the UFC, if you want to count all those Ultimate Fighter belts. And we're claiming that a dude that's 1-0 is number 8 in the division, and he beat a guy that's now 2-2 in the division. That shit is nonsense, man. This is for the actual belt. I'm with you guys. I'm glad it's going to be 5 rounds. Back to you guys. I'm out.
All right, see you, Dan. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial. When we come back, we'll say our goodbyes. We will squeeze in Hal from Chicago. You're listening to MMA Junkie Radio on SiriusXM, Rush 93.
I got asthma or what?
There was one video, I didn't know if it was real or not, though. It was like in Australia or something. This guys jumped in and fucking big-ass shark in the water when they did.
That's a bit much there.
They can drink Mentos-flavored Diet Coke without their stomachs giving a single fuck. They are Gorgeous George and Goes. And this is MMA Junkie Radio.
Let's sneak in Hal from Chicago as we wind up today's show. Want to thank Tony Ferguson for his time and Brad Tavares for co-hosting. Tomorrow we'll be joined by Brett Okamoto from ESPN. He'll be co-hosting with us. On Wednesday we'll be joined by Kevin Ioli. He'll be co-hosting with us. What's up, Hal in Chicago? How you doing?
Great. What's up, Brad? How you doing, man?
What up, man?
Hey, want to congratulate one of our good friends in the Junkie Nation, Aaron Menard, a.k.a. Texas Day, Missouri. He reps this fight on Legacy Fighting Alliance. That was very cool to see, so congratulations to him. And BJ Penn, congratulations. I hope he stays retired. The thing with BJ, for me, he's like the patron saint of overachieving slackers. You know what I mean? Does that make any sense?
I get where you're going.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Don't get mad, Brad. I mean that in a positive light. He's just so much natural talent. But it's like he gives us inspirations like, hey, you don't got to totally do it by the book. You can still be great. You know what I mean? So, in that sense. But anyway, that was just crazy. I don't know, Brad, if you have time, why didn't he even fight back, man? Well, is it just that hard, the game now, that if you don't stay in it, you don't have a chance? Or is that more on BJ? Anyway,
I don't know.
Later.
Thank you, Hal.
Good to hear.
Right. Can't really speak for BJ, you know. Everything is different in a fight. Not sure he got hurt or just the pressure that Yair started putting on, or you know, the range. It real early on, like how you were saying, like it looked good. Like BJ looked a little bit lighter on his feet. You know, a lot of people are saying that he looks slow, but I mean, when did BJ ever really move a lot or really look quick besides his jab? But like I don't know, real early on in the fight, I was like, oh, this, you know, like I like this BJ, and he's putting the pressure on good, staying right in his face, countering well, clinching, but it just seemed like once Yair started finding his range with those kicks, it just never stopped, kick after kick after kick after kick, and
yeah, an onslaught, man.
Yeah.
All right, Brad can be followed on Twitter at Brad Tavares. You also got Snapchat.
Snapchat at Brad Tavares.
Okay, cool. Tony Ferguson on Twitter at Tony Ferguson XT. Again, tomorrow, Brad Okamoto will be here. And yeah, House stole my thunder. Aaron Menard, super proud of you. He refed his first fights on national TV at LFA, Legacy Fighting Alliance. Did well. He even got praise from Chavello and Milicic for some of those breakups, some of those stand-ups. Great stuff, Aaron. We were all really, really proud of you. Sam Al-Jam had a nice write-up about that as well on Facebook. That was really cool to read, Sam. Michael Boyle, thank you for letting us invade your studios, the MB Studios in Costa Mesa. And folks, on Thursday night is Combate Americas, and Goz and I will be doing live tweeting and also a fight companion type of broadcast. So we ask you to join us there. We'll fill you in more about that tomorrow. Alberto Del Rio, El Presidente, will be on the show. We're out of here. Be champions.
My very last dime.